Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys joining me for another on the water video here. And guys, we're going to be talking about how to fish walkways on boat docks. Those, in my opinion, are the best structures, the best place on a dock to catch fish on. I probably, out of all the fish I've ever caught on docks in my life, which has been a ton of them, I bet probably, I don't know, at least half of them or more have come underneath the walkways and around the walkways. So there's some strategies and techniques that really produce better than others on this. So we're going to go over that in today's video. Also, guys, quick reminder, wanted to let you know that one of my favorite baits to throw in the fall time of the year, which we're in right now, is a buzzbait, like a white buzzer. And this is the Mega Bass Jamaican boa, which is my favorite buzzbait. It's a large buzzbait. It's got a big blade on it. Really good for fall bass. I'll put my Mega Bass Jamaican boa buzzbait link in the description if you guys would like to order some through Tackle Warehouse there. But like I said, I'd suggest getting some type of a white, with the nickel blade on it like this. Just a really good bait, in the month of October, early November. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn the camera around here, show you a walkway, and sort of run you through it here. Okay, guys, here's a typical walkway underneath the boat dock leading to the dock here. A lot of them, depending upon the water level and the type of dock, they're set up a little bit differently. Some of them are closer to the water. Some of them are higher above the water, depending upon your lake level. But they all pretty much have a couple different things in common. When they come off the bank, normally a lot of them have these floats here, like you see right there, and then the structures of the dock, and then you usually have the cables either above the water or under the water. These cables here are under the water, but there's always cables involved around these walkways, which makes it challenging because most of the time these cables are out of the water, so it makes the cast really difficult. So I'm going to run you through the dock and give you the high percentage areas. Now, first of all, these floats right here, those floats hold big ones. A lot of times they provide a lot of shade. They go underneath the water. The bass love these floats, even if it's in really shallow water. One of my favorite techniques is to pitch a jig or creature bait in and around those floats. Really good. Most of the time they're in less than 4 feet of water. Now, the other part of the walkway, this one here, it's pretty low to the water, but you can see right there, there's a gap there. You need to get underneath that walkway, if at all possible. So therefore, you got to learn how to, basically skip a lure. Probably my favorite lure, again, is like a 3/8 ounce jig. I'll skip it up underneath that walkway. A wacky rig works good. A shaky head works good. Just at whatever bait that you can skip, and try to get it on the other side to work it underneath the dock in the shade there. Now, the problem you're going to have a lot of times are these cables here. So a lot of times you're going to have to skip your bait under the cables if they're above the water. But guys, the shade of underneath those walkways, by skipping a bait under, is going to be a really good way to catch them. Now, also, a lot of these docks will have brush in and around these cables around the walkways because people crappie fish for them. So don't forget to work your bait out away from the dock, in and around any of the brush that may or may not be out there. Now, another really good area, and this is probably where I've caught more big ones than any, is where the walkway attaches to the dock itself. This is a super high percentage area, again, depending upon the water depth. For good walkway fishing, guys, I like to have less than 5 foot of water under the walkway. So if you've got like 5 foot of water or less where the walkway attaches to the dock, this is where those big ones lay, because you got more complex cover right there. So again, just pitch and flip your creature bait, jig, worm, whatever, in and around the shade. Try to get underneath it as much as possible, and just really try to focus on getting your cast as far back underneath there as that you possibly can. The cables themselves a lot of times will hold fish. Sometimes on these cables here, there's concrete and stuff that they use to anchor them. So don't forget to try around the cables. They can also be really good. And finally, guys, around your docks, any type of walkway area, there's going to be a bank, and the bank is usually, riprap, rocky type bank. The bank immediately close to the walkway, like within 10 feet either side, is a really good high percentage area. So this whole general area can hold a lot of fish. But the main thing, guys, is try to get it underneath the walkway and try to get it in the shade. And this is the thing that requires casting skill. If you're going to catch fish around walkways, you have got to be a good caster. Hey guys, there's just a few general tips as far as fishing under walkways. As far as lure selection, when you're fishing them, some of the top lures that I've ever caught them on is, you know, some type of a lighter jig, like a 3/8 ounce jig, either a full-size jig or a finesse jig, some type of a creature bait, a shaky head, and a wacky rig. A lot of it depends on the time of year, water clarity, but out of everything, as far as all the bass I've caught around walkways, I'd say a shaky head and a wacky rig have accounted for most of the bass around a walkway. Another really good lure to fish around these boat walkways is a whopper plopper or a buzzbait. Not necessarily underneath it, but if you can cast in and around it somewhere, it can be really good. And I have caught some decent fish, guys, skipping a frog under the walkways in the shade too. But the main thing is you have to get the bait back in there. This is one of the reasons walkways are so good, is because a lot of people simply can't put the bait where the fish are going to be at. And a lot of times you got to deal with the cables and the dock scratching your boat up. Another reason why they don't get fished as much, because people don't want to scratch their boat up. And also, a lot of fishermen are lazy, guys. And what you have is a lot of people, when they fish boat docks, they just hit the outside edges of them and the sides, and they don't want to take the time to get back in behind the boat dock where the walkway is. But I can assure you guys, fishing all the lakes that I do around the country that has boat docks, especially here in Missouri, Grand Lake, Lake of the Ozarks, that most of the good fish are going to live around those walkways. I mean, you can catch smaller fish on the ends of them and the sides, but I bet probably if I get a bite on a boat dock, if I get a bite on the walkway part of a dock, it's usually at least a pound bigger than on any other part of the dock out there. So anyway, guys, hope it helps you catch a few, and we'll talk later. See you.